I'm about to share something with you that might sound a little harsh at first, but trust me, you're gonna want to stick with me on this one. It could honestly be one of the most freeing things you ever hear.
All right, so let's just dive right into it with an uncomfortable truth. It's one of those things that really challenges how we think we fit into the world. And there it is, plain and simple. Nobody is thinking about you. I know, that stings a little, right? But what I mean is, they're not thinking about you nearly as much as you believe they are. But here's the twist, and it's a good one. Realizing this isn't a reason to feel insignificant, it's your ticket to freedom. It's basically permission to live your life without the constant weight of feeling like you're being watched. I mean, really think about it. That cool idea you had in a meeting, but you just kept it to yourself, or that creative project you've been dreaming about but never actually started, how many times was the fear of what other people might think the one thing that held you back? So, what is this invisible force that has so much power over us? Well, it's something we create entirely in our own minds. It's what you could call an imagined audience. You feel their imaginary eyes on you, and you pause. You hesitate. And then your brain just kicks into overdrive, right? You start overthinking every possible negative thing they could say. And what's the end result? You stop. You hold back. You decide it's just safer not to do the thing at all because of a feeling. This audience of yours, the critics, the judges, it's all a mental fabrication. It feels incredibly real, I know, but most of the time, you're putting on a performance for a totally empty theater. When you really let that sink in, the cost becomes pretty clear, doesn't it? We're letting ghosts run our lives. We're giving up on real, tangible opportunities because of an imagined threat. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain on this whole thing. Let's talk about the surprising reality of what's actually going on inside other people's heads. Just look at this breakdown. We spend so much energy worrying about what they're thinking about us, our mistakes, our choices, our lives. But the reality, they're the main character in their own story, just like you are in yours. They are way too busy worrying about their own stuff. This is such a powerful way to think about it. To everyone else, you're a fleeting thought. You're just a passing moment in a day that is already jam packed with their own worries, their own hopes, and their own dreams. You're just not the headline. But okay, let's go there. Let's take the worst case scenario. Let's say someone does notice and they do judge you. So what? What really happens next? Because even when that judgment happens, it has an incredibly short shelf life. Seriously. They might notice for a second, but then their attention snaps right back to their own world, their job, their family, what's for dinner. They forget about it, and they just move on. And all of this leads us to the most powerful part of this idea. Once you really, truly accept that you're not the center of everyone's attention, you gain this incredible and unexpected freedom. You know that giant stage you've been picturing? The one with the blinding spotlight and thousands of critical eyes watching your every move? It was an illusion. The theater is empty. You're free to rehearse, to experiment, to totally mess up. With that empty stage, you get the freedom to actually do things. You're free to try that thing you've always wanted to do. You're free to fail, which is really just another word for learning. You're free to grow. And maybe most important of all, you are finally free to just start. This right here is the fundamental shift. It's about changing the driving question of your life. You go from constantly seeking approval by asking, "What will people think?" to finding your own motivation by asking, "What do I want?" And that, my friends, is where life really begins. Just let that sink in for a second. All that anxiety, all that holding back, all that fear, it was for an audience that never even bought a ticket. They aren't watching. Now, this is a really crucial point. This isn't a license to be selfish or to completely ignore other people. Not at all. It's about knowing the difference between real, valuable feedback from people who actually matter and the paralyzing fear of imagined judgment from everyone else. So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. The stage is yours. The audience is gone. Knowing that nobody's really watching, what will you do with all this freedom?